Hi, it's Kim today. I am here with a special guest. Her name is Maria. I'm happy to have her. She is from Sweden and has lived in France for a few years now. And we've had the pleasure of getting to know each other over actually just the past 6 months. It feels like a lot longer.
Yeah.
And we've gotten to know each other just through school and other, native mom friends. So yes, we're excited to have her. We are continuing our series today. So this is episode 3 of our series of how I ended up in France. So for those of you listening, what I'm trying to do is really expose and interview amazing women from all over the world and hear their stories and how they ended up here and share that with our listeners. So thank you guys for listening. Let us know what you think. And as always, please follow us on cuckoo.pod. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Maria. So as I mentioned, Maria, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself. So you're Swedish.
Yes.
You have 2 children.
Yes.
And how long have you been in France?
It's our 4th year.
4th year.
Yeah.
Okay. And you moved directly from Sweden.
Yes.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about what you really kind of thought about when you were thinking about moving to France. Like, how did this conversation come up?
We love France.
Okay.
Yeah. We met, actually, my husband and me, we met in Nice 25 years ago
Oh,
when
my
we
goodness.
studied French.
That's so cool.
I didn't learn a lot, but we met. So we knew Nice,
Okay.
that area,
Yes.
because my husband's parents bought an apartment 2006.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So we've been there every summer.
Okay.
So during COVID,
Yeah.
kind of all, like everywhere,
Yeah.
people were working remote.
Yes.
And after COVID, he could continue working remote.
So nice.
So the conversation came up during spring.
Okay.
And we were like, well, before the kids are too old, we
Yes.
wanted to do it before,
Yeah.
so we quite fast. We were like in March, well, let's go.
Wow.
April, applied to school, got a yes, and we moved in July.
Oh, my goodness.
It was like, tick. So
and take us back. How old were you have 2 boys, correct?
Yes.
How old were your boys at the
So
time?
Felix was 9.
Okay.
And Max was 12.
Okay. And let's talk about, so you spoke Swedish, obviously,
Yeah,
as a family,
yeah.
and you had raised your boys in Sweden.
Yeah.
Okay. And you and your husband speak Swedish at home together.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
And you're obviously fluent in English. So tell us how you learned English.
Me.
Yes.
So Sweden is a small country.
Yes.
You need to learn English if you want to go abroad.
Yes.
And I loved English.
You loved English.
Yes. When we started learning English at school, I was 10.
Okay.
And I completely fell in love.
Wow.
I had these fake interviews with myself in English, and and then we don't dub anything.
Oh,
so
right.
all films, you get showered in English.
Yes. That's so nice.
But my kids, they didn't, like Felix, he was 9.
Okay.
He could introduce himself. He
Just
knew the
like,
colors.
my name is
car,
yeah.
maybe.
Okay.
Max a bit more.
Yes. Okay.
Since
And
he was
Max
12.
was 12. Okay.
So we put Max on online lessons.
Okay.
Directly. We were like, you need to just have
Yeah.
at least one language,
Yes.
because we knew he was going to start in 5e.
Okay. Which is like 6th grade.
I have no
Okay.
It's 6th grade in Sweden.
So it's about the same in the US.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Felix was 9.
Okay.
But he could introduce himself when we came here, and he wasn't happy at all. He was more like, what are you doing?
Oh, no.
Yeah. And the only thing I did with him, which I told you, was that 2 weeks before school started, I was like, Felix, it's English time, 9 to 5, and he wasn't happy at all.
Yeah.
But it kind of helped him the first day.
So you decided, even though your family for the number of years since they've been born have spoken Swedish together, you're all of a sudden just one day like, now we're speaking English together, and you and your husband spoke English at home.
Yeah, we did that the last 2 weeks because we were still in France.
Okay.
And we were
you
in France. We moved in July.
Okay, so you were still in Sweden.
So we were in Sweden until July.
Got it. Okay.
Still, we spoke Swedish.
Okay.
Everything. We moved in July.
Okay.
Had a great summer. Then 2 weeks before school started, we were like, let's switch on. Like, we need to switch.
Wait, this is funny. I didn't realize you were in France, but you switched to English.
Yes.
Okay. most people
because
do that.
I kind of panicked because I
yeah.
I realized he's gonna have to speak English, like one language, to like, be able to communicate. Like
that's so interesting because the school that our children are both at is English and French, and so. And I would say most, not all of them, but most children have one of the two languages, right? Yeah. And so I can see how you were a little bit nervous.
I was kind of panicking. But he's like, I think it's a good thing that they are in primaire.
Yes.
Like they're smaller.
That's primary
because
school.
You still play.
Yes.
Like you meet friends
through play
quite easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can like play with the language. Like you can, if you play tag.
Yes.
You don't have to be fluent in French or English to play tag.
Yes, it's true.
But since he was 9 years old, it kind of quickly just like he got showered 50% with English, 50% with French. And
tell us, how did he feel at first?
It was very, very hard.
It was very hard.
He was crying every day when I dropped him off.
Oh, it's so hard.
And you're trying to be brave, you know. You're like, bye, have a nice day. And you can see the tears just. And other parents came to me and they were like, how is he? I was like, oh, yeah, I know he's crying. Oh, poor child. Yeah. I went to the car and just had a breakdown.
Of course.
Like, every day. I'm like, what am I doing to him? Am I destroying him? Am I
ruining my child?
Yeah. And he was like, when are we going home? When are we going home? Because he didn't want to move. But then after Christmas, it kind of just
switched.
Yeah. And he was, because I think it wasn't so much about the language. I think it was more about a shock, just like what's happening.
It's a big change.
He was used to being free.
Yeah.
At school, like, you know, the playground, the schoolyard in Sweden was very open.
Wow.
It was a great school.
Okay.
And here they had this little like courtyard, like a prison.
She calls it a prison.
Yeah. For me, it was
as an American, this is pretty open.
So I think it was more like there's nothing to do, like
Yeah.
And he, but he switched, and it took maybe 1.5, 2 years. Before he stopped asking, like, when are we going back?
And tell me, let's go back for a minute. I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
So you and your husband, what was like the conversation of like why you wanted to move to France? Like, was it so that your children could be like trilingual? Was it so you thought the quality of life was better? Like, what was the big deciding factor?
We had a good life.
Yeah,
Sweden.
it seems like it
very
was,
But for the adventure.
For the adventure.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were like, if we're gonna do this, we need to do it now.
Yeah. Okay.
And let's try it for a year or 2.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes. I mean, obviously we are staying. We bought a house and we're staying. But if we would have stayed, it would have stayed the same probably. And we were like, let's make a change. That's
cool.
And since he could move.
Yes.
Like the job allowed a move.
Your husband, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So he could move, like work remotely, have a French salary, and that changed a lot for us.
Wow.
And just like, because we spoke about it before we had kids.
Okay, because you had met in Nice, so had this sort
we
of
were like, let's have an adventure in England or France.
Okay.
But then I just started working as a teacher, and I was like, I want to do this in Sweden. I want to like start my...
Totally, you like went to all this school to be a teacher, right? Okay.
And as a teacher, you have like a 3-year cycle with your students. So that year, when I decided to move, I just finished, I was going to finish my 3rd year cycle. So I was kind of saying goodbye to the students. It was a good time.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, of course, languages for us.
Yeah.
I mean, as a Swedish person, you need at least English.
Yes.
But then since we love France, we're like, French is a good language to learn.
Yes.
And in Sweden, they wouldn't, if I compare their English level now, it's like, they're fluent. And French, even though you can study French as a 3rd language in Sweden, it's not like you learn more than...
It's kind of like learning a second language in the U.S. Like you don't really speak the language fluently unless you move somewhere, I would say. Yeah.
So
that was sort of the impetus.
And we knew Nice as an area. So we were like, we want to see something else.
Yeah.
So
and how did you decide on Provence versus Nice? Because there's some great schools in Nice.
Yeah, I know, but we've been there every summer since 2006. So we were like,
it's like something new.
I just Googled like
really
international bilingual.
Yeah.
And we and it's close to Nice anyhow.
Yeah, that's true. We're an hour and a half from Nice in Aix-en-Provence,
yes.
so it's not that bad. Yeah.
And this location,
it's beautiful.
Just, I heard you talking about that before in the podcast, but we didn't really realize what a good location this is.
So
it's
good.
J'adore la
Provence.
J'adore
la Provence. That means
it's
she
my
loves Provence.
sentence every week.
Oh, it's so great.
It's like the Alps.
Yeah, totally.
Spain, Italy, Paris.
I know.
The sea. It's
you can hike every week. You do hike every week? Yeah. No, so I think that's amazing. I also wanted you to spend a minute because I thought it was really interesting. The differences since you were a teacher in Sweden.
Yeah.
The differences in like education you see in France versus Sweden, or even just like I was asking about security and like I was like, does our school seem open or closed to you? Because to me, it seems very open compared to schools in the United States that are obviously for the right reasons, like very protective, very secure. And here this seems like we literally, I'll just tell a quick story on that. Like the way you pick up your child from primary school is they all stand in like a big courtyard that's fenced in, and the parents stand outside the fence, and then you just wave at your child.
Yep.
And when the child waves back at you, then they can just
run
out.
And the teacher sees
and
you.
And the teacher has to like eye you. And then the child just runs out.
Yeah.
And then you like go on with your day.
Yeah.
There's no signing. There's no like, anything.
You have to sign in the States?
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's like very, and I mean, they background checks the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like So, so tell us a little bit about Sweden.
Well, France was a shock to me because their school in Sweden was, preschool, of course, you have a fence. You need to.
Of course, they can't be,
But I mean, from 6 years old, there are schools. I think in Stockholm, in the city, you probably have fences. I don't know.
Were you outside of Stockholm?
10 kilometers south of Stockholm. We had no fences, an open schoolyard. The kids, when they went to, after school care? Yeah. After school care, you had you could write an email and say, Felix can go home by himself today.
Wow. And they would just walk home?
Yeah. We had 700 meters.
Okay. So close.
Yeah. So they went home. Not at 6, of course. He was at 6. He was maybe 8 or 9.
Okay,
or you went there and you just waved at the after school care teacher and bye. He's leaving now. So they couldn't just decide on their own. It's 3:00. I'm gonna go home. Of course not.
Right.
But this was I need to wave. Okay, I need to It was.
You thought this was rigid.
Yeah, this was
interesting
very,
in France. Okay.
And you had to, but it took so long.
Yeah,
it was 15 minutes just to
I know.
They have to walk out, stand in line.
Yes.
No, it was very different.
Okay.
And also, the school days here are very long.
Yeah.
And that was a big shock to my kids. They were 4 o'clock
every day. Yeah.
So that is a big difference.
Yeah.
Homework, big difference. Tests, big difference.
Lots of tests in France, lots of homework.
Yeah, and also the presence of adults.
Oh, what is that? What do you mean?
When they're in, collège?
Yeah.
When they start CCN.
Okay, so that would be middle school.
Yeah, there are a lot of them on their own.
Oh,
it's
interesting.
It's not like you have people walking around. Is everything good?
Wait, in Sweden they're on their own.
No.
You think in France they're on their own? Okay, I don't have anyone
in Sweden, you
middle
always
school.
have, during breaks and stuff, you always have adults.
Oh, interesting.
On the schoolyard.
Okay.
Being break response, they're responsible during the break to make sure everything is okay. If something happens, you have a discussion, what happened? Here, not so much.
It's a lot of independence.
Yeah.
Solve it yourself.
Yeah.
Go figure it out.
Yeah. If you go to an adult, it's more maybe one person. I don't know. I'm not there.
Right, of
but
course.
what I hear, it's really it's your fault you get detention. We don't really have detention in Sweden.
No, yeah. that would be considered really strict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what about well, I have a quick story on that. My children come home and I guess they're threatened with going to the principal's office, if they're bad.
Yeah.
Or they, one day, my son is 2 years older than my daughter, and there was a child from my son's class that sat in my daughter's class, who's 2 years younger. And they said that child was so bad that he had to go down to like the kindergartners because he was acting like a kindergartner.
So that was a punishment.
To go down 2 grades because it was like, you're acting like that. And that just like would not happen in the US. No. That would be considered like psychological abuse or something. Really. And I'm guessing that wouldn't happen in Sweden.
No.
But, but I think like, I don't know, some people are like, well, the child probably learned their lesson. There's like there's such different takes on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways.
It's more on a punish level
yes,
than in Sweden, I think.
And I would say in the US
And
too.
then, I can only speak from my experience as a teacher and where I went to school. But it's a lot more strict here in a way.
And, for sure.
Yeah. So they were exhausted their first year. They're like 8 till 4 or 5 every day, and it's like
it's very academic,
and also the language. For them, it was like
in 2 languages they were learning because they had to learn French and English. Yeah, okay, well, good. I'm proud of you. You should feel proud of yourself. That's a big.
Yeah.
Change.
Now it feels good. But the first year, we were like,
"What are we doing?"
Yeah. So Max, he was 12.
Okay.
And all lessons when you're in Sankium, they're like 50% in English, 50% in French.
Okay.
And he did of course he understood some English,
right.
but it was still a lot for him.
Yeah.
With the tests and he's just laughing about it now. It's like, Mom, it's like a black hole. That whole year is like,
it doesn't even.
No.
So cute.
So the whole the thing that made us feel very comfortable was their friend. Like they both found friends
right
the
away.
First day.
Okay.
And that made the whole difference. If not, I don't know.
If you would have stayed.
Yeah, we found friends and kind of went into this social. It's all about networking. The first year, it's like finding people.
I know. And
it feels like you need to start over.
No,
it was very intense.
And I'm so impressed by you. So Maria speaks French, I would say completely fluently now. No, you wouldn't say that, but it is.
No.
But you tell us about your choice. So when you first started, you kind of saw English speakers, and your English was better than your French, and then you saw French parents.
Yeah.
And you chose the French parents, right? So
tell
us your experience, what went through your head.
So at school, it's very
divided.
Divided, okay. Yeah. It's English area, French area.
In the older grades, yeah. Because I was telling you, the younger, it's mostly French.
That's the thing.
It's very interesting.
Very mixed.
Yes.
My kids, they're with the international students.
Yep.
It's even divided in the classrooms.
Oh, that's
what I understand.
So interesting.
French, English. And I'm so disappointed.
Because
that's
too
in
bad.
my head, I was like, they're going to be so international. And it's English, French.
Oh,
and even when you pick up your kids, you can see English-speaking parents, French-speaking parents.
That's true, actually.
I was so lucky because my first day, you're very nervous.
Oh, of course.
And, English is my second language, not my first language. Right. And I was like, I need to just switch to English or try to speak French. Oh. And you have this parent-teacher meeting the first day.
Sure. Yes.
And we sat on those little desks and just okay. And the English teacher spoke English and the French teacher spoke French.
Yes.
And we sat on the opposite side of this mini table. There was this French French parents in Felix's class.
Okay.
And she could see my
you
confusion. When she spoke French, that teacher was like, what? What?
Yeah, that's how I was too.
And she was like, hello, here's my number. Can I help you? Contact
sweet.
Me. We met to, it's new for us with uniforms. And so we met up and she kind of took me under her wing. She's been amazing.
And this is a French mom that is in your son's class. Okay. Yeah. And so you guys are still friends to this day.
And she was amazing. She took me under her wings and
And what language did you speak together?
French.
Oh, you just spoke French?
Yeah, because she speaks English, but it's not her.
Okay.
No.
And so then all your friends became French
so
friends.
I kind of came into this French.
Got it.
So there were some very lucky there as well. Some other parents in Felix's class, also French, but expat parents.
Got it. Okay.
So they knew English.
Okay.
But we spoke French. So we became this little friend group.
That's
when you
so
waited,
great.
because we had to wait for the older siblings that spoke, but they finished later some days.
Okay.
And so I kind of like, okay, it would be so much easier for me to go to the English table.
It would have been easier.
But I was like,
good for you.
Yeah, and
good
they've
for
been.
you.
I mean, I'm so lucky. I'm so grateful because they spoke slowly with me. They explained everything. They could see, when French people or English, like when everyone is talking, you can see how they could see how I was like zooming out, like trying to just get the whole picture. And they were like,
I know that feeling.
You are not following now. Like, no.
And they would actually like help you versus just, not talk around you.
And correct me. They became my teachers. They were
so great.
Yeah, I'm so grateful.
So is this how you think you've learned French?
Yes.
Like, and what kind of foundation would you say you had when you came here? Like, how many years of school did you learn French?
I had, 6 years in Sweden.
Okay.
And then I went to Nice.
Okay.
For 8 months. But in Nice, what's more of a, we had 4 hours per day, only international students.
Okay.
So obviously I spoke only French during
those times.
4 hours.
Okay. But still, that's pretty good.
Still, I still learned French.
Yeah.
So I had a base.
Okay.
So I could communicate.
Yeah.
I could ask questions. I could.
That's great.
So that
really
if
helps.
I didn't, I would never be able to sit at a table trying to. So I had a certain level. Yes.
Would you say that you were very appreciative of that when you moved here?
Yes.
I was comparing or contrasting, I should say, my experience that I was when we sat in those parent-teacher meetings and my husband and I had just taken some online classes with zero foundation. And I was I probably looked like I was just about to cry because I had no clue what was going on. So, but yes, you have to, and it's something you and I were saying, you have to keep working at it. And the fact that you do speak French with all of your friends is amazing.
Yes.
That really, really helps.
And also thanks to them.
Yeah, that's
because they could have easily just oh my God, we can't I need to explain this as well.
Yeah.
And
that
I
is
could
really
ask,
great, actually.
Yeah, and I could ask all these questions when you say tu, when you say vous, when do you stop? When do you? The bisou was very new to me.
That's the 2 kisses, one on each cheek when you greet someone, and that's constant.
Yes,
and they start at different cheeks depending on where
and you do
you're from.
The whole
and
nose thing. You're what? No, okay, yeah. So it's very confusing.
Really awkward when you
and you have no idea if since I went to school every day to pick up my kids, it's so we kissed yesterday. Do we do this today as well? Or do we or we just
when does the kissing stop?
Do we do it we saw each other this morning? Do we kiss this afternoon as well? Or do we
what is the rule on that?
So it's very it depends on how good you know each other and also depending how they usually do. So it's a whole.
So it's very culturally.
In Sweden, I would never, if I went to pick up my kids every day, I would never hug my friends at school hello every day.
No.
So that was also a big cultural experience.
Oh, interesting.
Because in Sweden we're quite.
Is it?
We have our little distance.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not a big hugging culture.
It is if you know people.
Right.
But here you can introduce yourself. If you're at a dinner or a party and you have never met this person, you can introduce yourself Bonjour, enchanté, Maria, bonjour, and you do the kissing thing while introducing yourself. While in Sweden or maybe the States as well, you would actually shake hands.
No, in the States you'd shake hands.
So I do that as well here, but also depending on the situation, I might as well just do the bisou and introduce my it's very confusing.
I agree. So you must have been a little taken aback when I gave you a big hug this morning.
Because I actually thought about that. I was yes. This is. I feel more comfortable.
And I feel more comfortable just giving you a hug than I would since neither one of us are French to do the.
I'm more of a hugging
bisou
person than still.
Me too.
Because for me, it's very intimate.
For sure.
But when I had a discussion with my French friend, she was "Can we do the hugging thing? Just try."
She wanted to try.
Can we just?
How did it?
And she was "Oh, this is so intimate," and I was
Oh,
what?
She thought the hug was more intimate than the two. It's so
because
interesting.
I was like, you're up in each other's faces, and
you're like even. I feel like that's way more intimate. But maybe it just could be.
It's a cultural.
It's totally cultural,
but it's fun, and you
need to embrace it.
Yes,
my husband was very when we first moved here, very freaked out because we had like 16, 17-year-old girl babysitters that would come over.
Yeah,
and they would greet my husband with the two like
the kisses.
And he was like, I think in the US too, that's like, whoa, this is like a 16-year-old and I'm a man. And anyways, it was just, he was like, I'm still so like freaked out when he's just not comfortable because it's just not, it's so cultural.
No. And I think depending on who you are, but it's also, I think my husband as well it's quite new.
Oh, is that new for him too? I bet. Yeah.
And I think for me as well with kids, I'm more like, hello. And then sometimes you do
with the kids is also confusing.
Yeah. I never know.
Okay.
So I'm like,
well, one thing you guys should note, just be comfortable doing lots of different types of exchanges and not knowing which one to do.
You just have to you
go with the flow, I say.
And then with those, like with my French friend, I can ask, how do I do with this one? How do I do with this one?
That's so great.
So
it becomes easier.
I had a lot of help.
That's awesome. Oh, I'm so happy for you. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Okay, so you talked a little bit about the challenges with your kids.
Yes.
Were there any other challenges you and your husband faced when moving here?
I would say the language anyway.
Still, and language anyway.
Because, my husband speaks a lot of English, like when he's working.
So he works in English?
A lot, yeah, like a lot of the time. Like, yeah, he does. And I didn't.
You worked in Swedish because you were teaching in Swedish.
I was a teacher a Swedish teacher.
Yes.
Swedish. But I spoke English. And of course, but with English, we're comfortable. Like you can kind of dance around the language in English.
Yes.
In French, you're very two-dimensional.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And my frustration is still that I can't really fully be myself. You can't joke around. You can't talk between the lines. You don't
know all the little like expressions.
And I was like, I can get so frustrated sometimes. Like, you don't know me in Swedish. No. I want to know people in Swedish.
Of course, like the real you.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it's getting better, but it's still a big frustration.
Yeah, interesting.
And then I would say, I think if you compare it with the US, it's also a lot of things are online.
Yes. Like you just do everything online. You pay things online.
And getting my carte vitale took me 18 months.
Oh. Because do you want to explain what that is? Just for people listening.
It's like, what is a health insurance card?
Yeah, it's a health insurance card.
So you have to apply for this.
Yes.
My husband, 2 weeks. He got it.
Oh, no.
Because he's working. I'm not working.
Right.
So I had to fill in all these papers, print them, send them by letter. And I was like, I haven't sent a letter in And then they kept losing my papers. So when I spoke with them, I had to call them. I was like, what is happening? And I could hear them literally like
picking up papers.
We can't, no, you're missing this paper. And I was like, you can't be, I know I sent it. So I had to resend papers. And it took like 10 days to get a letter back. For them to send a letter, it was like a 10-day, and I was like pulling my hair. I was like, this is not happening. No. I'm going back.
Yeah.
I'm moving.
Over the administration.
Finally, after 18 months, my French friend's sister helped me.
Oh, that's so nice.
And then it was like, whoop, it's done. Then when you're in the system, the healthcare system here
we're not in the healthcare system because
it's fantastic.
Yeah, I've heard that
for
too.
the kids, and for us, it's like it's time for a dental appointment. It's time for this. It's time for that, and you have Dr. Live the application. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
you have that.
I have that.
Yeah.
We basically have what you have, except that we pay for it.
Yeah.
But it's still a fraction of the cost if we were to pay for it in the US. It's still in Sweden. Is it expensive? Healthcare?
It's more expensive in Sweden.
Okay.
But it's like here they almost apologize to you when you like if you're having a blood test, for example, and you have to pay €5 for the vitamin D test. And they're like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, what? It's €5. I don't care. Like, no. So I'm very happy about the healthcare system here.
No, we're happy too. Like, I was going to say that, they always do apologize because we don't have the carte vitale. And when I took my kids to the doctor for the first time, they're like, what? You don't have this? I'm so sorry. Yeah. That's going to be 40 euros. And I was like, and then they were like, for all of it. I was like, the whole checkup and appointment, like everything. Yeah. And they were like, 40 euros. Yeah. And they're like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, and in my head, I was like, this is amazing. Yeah. So yes, I think that's another, just kind of one of those like benefits of living here for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of, okay. What do you find like the biggest rewards about living here, or just like life, quality of life, like kids, like what sort of things are you like, I'm so glad we live here for these reasons?
We say this every week in our house.
Okay.
We're like, the light.
The light?
I mean, the sun is out, the light.
Think about that in Sweden.
Because now, in December, the sun sets like 2:40 in the
2:40 in the afternoon.
So it's dark when you go to work. It's dark when you come home.
Oh my goodness.
Here, and the sun in the winter in Sweden, the sun is like here. It's actually up.
It's like actually hot if you sit in the sun, even in the winter.
Yeah, we have like Christmas lunch outside, and it's like wow. So it's like for us, it's the light, and the location.
Yes, for sure.
Go to a small medieval village.
Yeah, no, it's so cool.
Everything is
in 20 minutes.
Yeah, under an hour away.
No, it's so
you can go to Barcelona in a couple of
it's so
all
nice.
That.
Okay.
And also, of course, the language for the kids. To see them.
Isn't it so cool?
Yeah, to see them speak English or speak French, or they're going to French camps, and they're like,
and they're fine. It's amazing.
And that's a big reward to feel like, okay, we took a risk and it paid off.
1,000%. And you and I are like far enough in our journeys now, like that we can see the payoff. Like, I'll tell you a quick story. You'll find this funny. My son found the game of Scrabble, where you form the words. And he found it in our random closet of the house, this house that we're renting. And he was like, can we play Scrabble? And then my daughter, our whole family played, and they were like, can we do French and English words?
Woo.
And then they were coming up with more words in French than they were in English. And I was like, this is shocking. Like, because I would not have thought to put a French word on the Scrabble board, So anyways, it was just one of those moments, like my husband and I looked at each other and we're like, this is so cool, So yes, that is a very cool thing.
It's like,
it's like
Felix has a French friend, and when I hear them speak, I'm like, oh, he's speaking with his friend, because they switch.
They're like
so 50%
easily.
in the middle of a sentence. I can start the sentence in French. And then
English.
I'm like, oh my God, he actually knows 3 languages.
Yeah, that's such
cool.
It's
so I asked both of my kids before coming here.
Okay.
I was like, did we make, was it the right decision to move here? And they were both like, yes.
Really?
They don't want to go back.
They don't even want to go back.
They love it here.
That's so cool.
Max is like, he's in pre-IB2 now. He's 15.
Wow.
And he's like, I couldn't even do, he's doing everything in English now. He's like going back to Sweden and then studying Swedish. No.
So this has been so great. That's so nice to hear.
Yes.
Because I do think sometimes, we always debate that too. It's like, what happens when we go back, or how's it going to be, and et cetera. But the fact that your kids are happy, it's like life-changing.
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
Otherwise, no. And then that we found friends.
You have a good community.
It's not like the door is closed to Sweden. It's not
of course, it's not like you can never go back.
It's not like we dropped Sweden. You have 2 good worlds.
2 good worlds.
And that is a big reward as well. To realize that you can move, you can start a new life in a way. And still have your old home. It's like the best of 2 worlds.
It is the best. We feel that way too. And we've started to go back to the US more often.
Yeah.
And it does feel like, okay, we got our fix of home, and now we're like, okay, this is good too. Yeah. And one thing I wanted to ask you about, actually, because a lot of people talk about the food in France.
Yeah.
And I think maybe because we're American and the food is very different from here. I'll say that kindly. What would you say, was that a big shock for you? How's the food in Sweden?
So, depending on where you live, but if you live in Stockholm, it's a lot of Asian fusion. Okay. You have loads of spices and taste.
Okay, so you get a lot.
So here, it's not
bland.
so very spicy, but I love the freshness of the food.
I was going to ask you that.
You can't, like in Sweden, you can buy all vegetables all year round. Here, like the season is pumpkin. You buy pumpkins now. Like this, like it's very so seasonal and very fresh. Yeah, and that was a big positive surprise actually, because it feels good to buy the food that's in season now. Also, I think the first thing I went back to Sweden in March. Yeah, and we were planning like, you know, you have a plan. Like, where do I have lunch? Where do I have dinner?
Because you're like excited to eat at certain places.
The first thing I was like, Thai. I want Thai. I want Vietnamese. I want all these Asian fusion, Asian food. Yes. Here,
you don't get that.
No,
I know.
Not so good.
Even I would say, like, we try to get our fix, and we were like Paris, and there's some good ones, but it's not as much as like San Francisco, for example, where we had such amazing, like, you know, just different types of food. So, but I had the same exact feeling as you. I'm like, we miss, like, I would say international food. Yeah. And I would say what I don't miss is like the like non-fresh, like, you know, if you're buying now, I think like if I'm buying strawberries in the US, those are not fresh, you know, because it's not strawberry season. Yeah. Like think how we get strawberries in France now for and it's like 6 weeks. And then it's like, you better eat all the strawberries because I barely see them, or they're really expensive if you do find them. So I appreciate that. Yes.
And also I heard when you spoke in another episode with Carly about the baguettes and the boulangeries. The thing is, I'm gluten intolerant. So I don't have that experience. My kids, they do.
Oh, interesting. So you don't eat any, you can't eat any of the...
No. Wow. The baguettes, pain au chocolat, le croissant, no, nothing. But I still, since I have eaten gluten before. Yes. So I know the taste and I can smell it. I can enjoy the smell.
So you enjoy the smell?
Yeah, I do. But for me, I think it's better now than 3 years ago, finding gluten-free options.
I was just going to ask you that,
I find restaurants I've been to some restaurants, they're like,
no substitutions.
I'm not going to. But mostly, it depends on the restaurant, but mostly I find them very, very helpful.
Accommodating, that's great.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
And I think I also, you learn where to find your...
grocery stores, yes. Bio-Siban, that's a good one. Yeah.
Carrefour,
yes. You've got your section.
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
So that's good.
Okay, good.
So...
Okay, another question for you.
Yeah.
So... if you had to do this move again, I think you would say, like, you would absolutely do it.
Yes.
But would you change anything? Like, what would you have done beforehand, or what would you have done differently, if anything?
So I think it's a hard question.
Yeah,
for us,
it's a hard
because
question.
You always think, what if? But I think I would have practiced more English with the youngest one and the oldest, because it was such a, like, it was so fast for us. I mean, we took the decision in... like March,
and then
we moved in July, so it was like
4 months. It's like
that's nothing.
No, it's nothing.
So I would have focused a lot more on English with him, but since he was not very happy to go, I think we kind of just. I mean, we told him we went to the Canary Islands in April, like during the Easter break, and we were like, let's tell him that we're moving. When we're on vacation, when he's happy, because Max knew.
Oh, so you.
But we were like, we need to.
You need to protect the little one. Yeah, I get
happy
it.
Place.
Yes.
Bad news, maybe not so bad. So we. That was for him. It was very hard. But if he had a higher level of English, I think
it would have been an easier adjustment.
Yes.
Okay. But
in a couple of months, it was okay.
Fine.
So,
totally.
I don't
it's hard
know.
to say. No, that's fair. That's totally fair. Yeah. Yes. What advice would you have for anyone that is looking to move abroad?
I would say, I think to move as early as possible.
Like age-wise for your kids.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because, I mean, obviously you have English.
Yes.
But for us, I mean, they have to struggle with two languages.
Yeah.
So I think as an English-speaking person, I think it would be, I don't think it matters that much
Yeah.
because you can find your people, like English-speaking people.
Yeah.
But as a non-English or French-speaking,
Yeah.
but I think for the French part of it as well.
Yes.
I mean, Felix had 50% English, 50% French in his first 2 years.
Oh.
I think that is...
And so zero native language.
No.
Yeah.
But was lucky.
Yeah.
Because the lady who handles the bus.
Yes, she's so nice.
She's Swedish.
Oh, she is?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
So he had a little like support system in her.
So nice. Just
that was
one
nice.
other person. Yes. Okay.
But that would be my, and also think about the location.
Yes.
Like, what do you like to do? Like, do you like skiing? Do you
hiking.
like surfing? Maybe if you like surfing, you should be on the West Coast.
Right, totally.
If you like Italy or like depending on what you like. Like if you love food,
totally.
like if you're a foodie, go to Lyon.
Yes.
If you like, or Paris.
Yes.
Like, are you a big city person?
Totally.
Like if you want to live in a house, maybe not Paris or maybe not Nice.
Totally.
And, like,
no,
you know
it's
what
so
I see?
interesting. You know, I don't think people make the list necessarily of like what matters most to us in terms of where you want to live.
Yeah.
Like, and it's actually something shockingly my husband and I have paid a lot of attention to because we've lived in a lot of different cities in the US and they all kind of offer different things. And I think we were like, okay, we like this about California, but we like that about New York.
Yes.
But now we have kids and this is important to us with kids. And so I agree. And it's interesting, like we find X like checks so many boxes for us.
Yes.
But the one box recently that my husband and I have been like, this is hard. We miss the international like food. We miss like a big city because we've only really lived in big cities for so much of our lives. Yeah. And now that like once in a while we're like, we need to get to like Paris or London or somewhere that just gives us that sort of, we call it the fix. So I do think you have to kind of like evaluate. And I would say the other thing, tell me if you agree, you're not going to get everything out of one place.
No,
of
course.
And nowhere in the world, I don't think you can do that. And so make the best of like what you care about and match it with that city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Okay,
and
that's
also
good advice.
To be very open.
Yes.
Like if you meet a nice person, just, would you like that?
Yes.
Can we go for a coffee, lunch?
Totally.
Just be open.
Yeah.
No,
that's
as
such
a
good
Swedish
advice.
person, I don't. If it's maybe just me, but it's not like you don't chit chat with people waiting for the bus. You don't. Yeah. You're quite.
Yeah. Like, same in the US. Yeah.
Not very open, but here it took me some time. But you have to just throw yourself out there and say yes instead of no.
No,
and
it's true.
If you are in a situation where you feel like, okay, only French people. Oh my God! Like just see it as a French lesson.
Totally.
That's in my head all the time.
That's so
like,
smart.
It's a French lesson.
Yes.
Even though it's hard and you feel like, oh,
I know.
You learn something.
You learn something.
Yes.
Totally. That's such good. And you have such positive, good perspective on that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because of course you're going to have setbacks.
Well, of course.
Everyone has.
Yes.
and you're not going to, but you need to just like, okay, we learned something.
Yeah, that's great.
If you get hit by a car or when the water is not working in your house, you need to just like, okay, it's a problem that can be fixed and it's a learning curve.
So great. You need to just go with it and accept like there's something that's going to come out of this. I totally agree. No,
and
I have
maybe
the same.
you're like, it's an international community
Yes.
here. People are open.
Yes, for sure.
And maybe people leave and you need to like restart, reset.
Yes.
But it's also a curve of an opportunity to meet new people we met.
Yeah, no, it's so great.
You wouldn't have if you weren't open to it.
It's so true.
Like I have my friends. I'm going to stick with that.
No, I know.
Then
you don't branch out. Totally agree. Okay, last thing. Any advice for people just visiting France? I think you had a good one about, we always talk about the Bonjour effect. Like having to say bonjour when you walk into a store. But you had a good one that I didn't even think about. Tell us that.
Yes. So what I noticed when we moved here is that it's very important to say bonjour when you enter a shop or anything, or just if you're in the doctor's, like
you greet people in the waiting room. Yeah,
it's very polite.
Yes,
but it's also very important to say goodbye, have a nice evening or day, and thank you.
And let's hear yours in French. Merci.
merci, au revoir, bonne journée, bonne soirée, vous aussi. You just have to like that. You just have to like.
It's like a little song in your head that you have to. I really think, and it almost sounds like singing when you say it. Yeah.
Yes. And it's so. I love it.
You love it.
I actually do. Because when I went back to Sweden,
tell us what you did.
The first thing when I met my friend, I still had my suitcase, and I was like, he lives in the center of Stockholm, so I was like, we need to buy some candy.
Yeah.
So we just
because you love Swedish candy.
Yes. Okay. So we just popped in a shop, and when I had paid, I was like, thank you, goodbye, have a nice evening, and my friend just like, what is happening? He just looked at me like I was
not culturally normal to do that.
And when I looked at the the woman behind the counter, she was already on to the next one.
She didn't even hear it. Totally.
Of course you say thank you, but you don't have the whole
thing. No, it's so true. And for some reason, I do it so instinctively now here that I didn't even think about it. But so I guess for those of you listening, if you're going to visit France, we always say just learn bonjour, but now I think you need
to learn merci, au revoir,
au revoir,
bonne soirée,
bonne journée.
I think that is a
4 words now.
I love it.
No, it is really nice, and it does kind of like make you feel good when you're like, that was a nice exchange, you know, and all good. Yeah, great. Well, I think that was all we had today, Maria. Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
It was so nice to have you.
Yeah.
And so stay tuned, and we'll be back with our next guest soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.